Footy and Frothies, Dag and Barnett with you to preview round 19 of the National Rugby League competition. Of course, you can subscribe and get us each and every week on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, anywhere good podcasts are found. Check out rugbyleaguemerch.com and buy some sexy-looking shirts and hats and steins. And
that is a sexy stein. I have to get one of those.
It's a sexy sign. I might get one myself.
Absolutely.
I might even send one to the winner of the bowl prediction show. There you go.
Nice.
I don't know who that is because I don't remember what anyone predicted. But I've got some predictions already in mind for next year, but that's 6 months away yet.
Getting excited.
Oh, yeah.
Watch
out. Well, this year's gone, isn't it?
It is a good fun show.
It is, one of the highlights of the year, but that's to come. You can go back and listen to some of our old ones. Actually, they're good fun too. I don't know if this round's any fun.
It's a bit of an average round of footy, considering all the injuries. Blokes, they're obviously missing through Origin and a shortened round with 5 matches, and two or three of the games look pretty one-sided to boot out of the 5 matches. So.
Yeah. Have we got anything on the NRL? What's on Thursday night? Anything? Under 19s?
Sharks are on Thursday. Sharks Tigers.
Oh, actually, I thought under 19s were tomorrow.
Yeah, Sharks Tigers tomorrow.
It is. Tomorrow's Thursday. Of course it is.
Yeah. 1 game Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday.
What do we usually talk about here? I don't know. Whatever. Let's talk about the West Tigers hosting the Cronulla Sharks. For the Tigers, Twal, Nofaluma and Naden are out. Kapoa and Tommy Talau take their places. The experiment's over with Bateman. He's gone back to an edge, only the season too late.
Very good.
And Pole gets his 13 spot back. Seyfarth comes onto the bench. Asatasi James.
Is he left or right edge? He's left edge, isn't he?
Yeah, they switched him.
So he's going to be on Nickera.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
good matchup.
Their pack absolutely fell apart when Bateman moved off the edge. So Pole, they've gone back to what's probably their best forward pack, barring injury. Asatasi James makes his first grade debut, a big body there. I would love to see Matamua get some time and see what he's got to offer because from all reports, he's a great ball-playing lock option. For the Sharks, Hamlin-Ueli, Connor Tracy, Finucane out. McGuinness starts at 13. Cole Kewen on the bench, and everything else is what you'd expect there.
Toby's back.
And Toby's back. He is too, and he's starting.
He's
no messing around. Kafusi, Rudolph, Nikora, Wilton, McGuinness. On paper, looks a fantastic forward pack battle.
It does.
Is there any hope here that there's not another 50 racked up though, Barn?
Well, what kind of start do I need to get? We normally put $20 on this game every year. what kind of start do I need to get your interest?
48.
48.
Let's call 30. Let's call 30 fair.
All right, yeah, done.
Yeah, have I ever won off you? Yeah, I think I did once.
Yeah, you did.
Because I got the photo. Yeah.
I was going to say Sharks 30 plus, and now we'll make it 31 plus just to make a bird of it. No, I think if the ball once the forward battle dies out a little bit in the middle of the field, I would expect the Sharks to open up the outside edges of the Tigers because they've shown a propensity to be opened up out wide, especially in the centres and the wingers. We'll just see if the Sharks are able to control the ball enough to put enough points on to do what they probably should in this one. Sharks 13 plus. I'm going to go Nico man of the match. I'm actually going to go Toby Rudolph on his return to be the first try scorer. So I'm going to whack $1 on it just in case. He does love a barge over, and he's a big body that we've been missing. So get him close to the post and wind him up and see what happens.
Not a bad shout. This back line now leaves me cold. And in fact, if Tigers go to market, they could probably use a decent. I know they've got Josh Felladay coming through the system, but a decent defensive centre wouldn't be a bad thing to have, really. But that's the least of their problems, really.
There's not a lot of them around.
No, well, apparently no halves either. Anyway, I'm going to go 30 plus. I think Sharks' execution is getting there. The blowout last week helps. Might take a while to get in their stride. Once they do, I think it's just a second half blowout's coming as per usual here. Looking forward to seeing the forward battle. Hopefully there's some spark there somewhere. I'm going to say first try scorer. My guy does just say Jesse Ramian. I just have no confidence. But now I'm with Bateman back on an edge. At least it's something. But I'm going to go with Ramian. I'm going to say man of the match. Can I do something different? Probably not. It's probably Nico. Whatever.
If Bateman was still in the middle, I would have gone Nakora, but the fact
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Bateman might just slow him up a little bit.
And Puppy's
But,
been like almost a shining star in some games, so at a low level. One of those sort of
low-flying shining star.
what are the ones that like the red dwarf? What are the ones that are dying?
Yeah, the
Red dwarf.
red star.
Anyway, that's happening, and then we get to talk about the Dragons on Friday night.
Oh, yes.
What a treat as
Can't
they
wait.
host the Raiders at Wynn. Paul Turner is playing fullback for them. That's something. With the no Sloan, no Ben Hunt, no Jaden Hunt, no Tatamoga as well. So they've got Amone and Sullivan as the starting halves. Blake Lawrie has been named captain, and apparently he's now the official club captain, whatever that means.
Yeah, good on him.
And by Molo Couchman and Dan Russell. Makes his. I thought he was my woodwork teacher in year 7, but anyway, he's on the bench. No Horsburgh, no Solo for Canberra. Mariota is the lock. Starling, Trey Mooney, Kotrick, and Peter Holer is on the bench for the Raiders. Again, what are the overs here?
I'm actually going to go Raiders 1-12.
Okay.
They haven't really blown anyone out of the water this year. Dragons should be embarrassed about what happened last week. They're down at Wynn. Generally play a little bit better down there. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it'll be something like 18-10, 18-6. Those sort of marks. Raiders will be pretty, comfortable in their win, but I think it might just scrape in at 1-12, probably 12 points at the back end. Fogarty, I think, will be man of the match. He's done everything right for the last 6 odd weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if Whiten scores the first try just off Fogarty there in and around the post. Bit of footwork and barge his way over. But I think this might be a pretty dour game for a big part of it.
I agree, but
the wind whipping up down there and the ball sort of getting pushed sideways. And
I agree, but I think how bad the Dragons have been late in games has been papered over by the fact there's lots of shit teams.
That haven't put them away. Yeah.
Well, not lots, there's 2, but there's other teams that aren't playing great either. But I can see this being similar to like a 10-8 sort of half-time score.
Yeah.
But I think Raiders, just through sheer class of their forward pack, start belting them down the second half, and Fogarty start to get time and space that allow Whiten to have a day out. I think he will score first and potentially can be man of the match here. I think he is very much second fiddle, but here he might run right late in the game with throwing people around and busting tackles and throwing long balls and doing all sorts of good stuff to lead to points here. So he'll be the daily double there. What an interesting game this was to look at the teams for. But the Eels are hosting the Warriors at Combank. Sean Russell is the new fullback because Gutho's out. Lumi comes onto the other wing. Madison and Arcee are the halves. Ofahiki Ogden starts at lock. Paulo's playing, so yeah, he just got dropped.
Yeah.
Davey, Hopgood, Cartwright's the rest of the forward pack. On the bench, we've got Luca Moretta, Joffa, Sean Lane, and Makatoa. For the Warriors, apparently Sean Johnson's in doubt, and they're preparing to play without him.
Right, okay.
Which brings them back in the game.
Who have they got on the extended bench?
Volkman.
Yeah. Very cool.
So he's there as cover. I don't think it's going to matter. I think back to dry, point to proof if the Warriors bounce back. And missing their key players like Gutho and Moses are this team.
RCG as well.
And RCG. I think, again, half a forward battle. Once class starts prevailing, if Johnson's on the field, I think Warriors win and win well. If not, it might be more of a grind, but I think they can get through enough work that they'll grind home. Tohu Harris will be man of the match because he'll lead the way, asking the officials why, sir, and also making 48 tackles and 163 metres. First try scorer, well, let's go back to Dallin because he's due. But I don't think it's by any means immoral. This could be a weird game, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a weird game. I think you're going to see, obviously, we saw this combination in the last Origin in the halves with Madison and RC, and they didn't do too badly. They're not going to provide more than probably 18 or 20 points for this Parramatta side, and the Warriors, in my mind, have high 20s, possibly 30 points in them against against this Parramatta side. I don't think you're going to see the cover from Sean Russell that you see from Gutherson stopping tries. Most weeks he saves at least one try, so there's probably a try that will come about with Gutherson not being there, and then you minus a try or two from Moses not being there. Warriors to win 1-12. I think they'll end up winning the forward battle, but it may take them quite a while to get over the top of this Parramatta pack, which is still pretty strong. Very strong, actually. One of the better ones, even missing Regan Campbell-Gillard. I'm going to go with Chance Nickel-Clockstad, man of the match. I think he's been integral in a lot of stuff they've done, especially if Sean Johnson's out. He's going to have to take that link role and be a big part of points coming for this Warriors side. And I'm going to go with Barnett to score the first try. I think he's been quite good. He's been warming back into it. It's been, a month, just over a month since he's come back from injury. He's got some stupid shit in his game, but he's also got a very hard, flat running line. And if they get him lined up one-on-one with someone close to the line, I think he could plunge over for the first try. So.
Beauty. The main event on Saturday night is, and what a main event. We've got
Look at the team list for this.
The Bunnies reserve grade team take on the Dogs reserve grade. Here's the Rabbitohs team. Taff, Johnson, Tass, Milne, Munro, Hawkins 5'8", Ilias in the halves, Totola, Havili, Tom Burgess is captain starting, Ben Lovett, Michael Cheekham, Shakai Mitchell. On the bench, we've got Mamazelos, Tallis Duncan, Davey Mawali, and Hame Sele. For the Bulldogs, Avarillo goes back to fullback. Carraz, Burns, Tapine in the centres. So Alamonte has been given the McBoot. Blake Wilson, good player. Matt Burton. Toby Sexton makes his club debut. Max King, Reid Marnie, Ryan Sutton, Jaden Ockenbaugh, Jacob Preston, Fatala Mariner. On the bench, Kyle Flanagan, Morin, Tavita Pengai, and Harrison Edwards. What in the hell do we do here? Should be fun, I reckon.
It will be fun because I think the Dogs will probably dominate the middle of the field for a big part of the game. Whether that converts to points is a question to be asked. Be very interesting in what Sexton provides for this team. If he comes in and does a game controlling half and puts in a first grade performance, they probably win this game. But I can't back the Bulldogs, and I'm not going to. I'm still going to go with South. I think there's just that little bit of strike out wide. We've only seen Hawkins once or twice, I think, and from what I've seen, it's been okay. So provide that with Ilias, who really has to step up in this match. I'm going to go with Ilias man of the match because I think if Souths win, he's going to have to be a big part of what they do to provide points. And Tass has been a strike weapon out there on the left-hand side for the South Sydney team. I just think once the ball starts, as long as the ball can get to the edges for the South Sydney team, they've got enough to just keep the Dogs at bay by the back end of the game and scrape through with maybe a 2 or 4 point win. So I've gone with Souths 1-12. Ilias man of the match and Isaiah Tass first try scorer. Dogs 30 plus.
Rugby league chaos. I'm going to have the Bulldogs 1-12.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to say that at some point these Bulldogs players have to have class on essentially a reserve grade team.
You would think
with
so.
all due respect to these
the guys
youngsters
that are lining up. Yeah, absolutely.
But the forward pack clash is the concern. I can see this, but I reckon defence goes out the window here. I think 38, 36 or something wacky, even more. I'm going to go first try scorer Blake Wilson, as I said, just because I don't know, I just said that. And man of the match, Tavita Pengai Jr. may be getting to stomp some heads and coming off the bench for a solid 40 minutes. We're getting either rocks or diamonds, but that's a sort of game to expect. And we're going to wrap up the round on Sunday afternoon with the Titans hosting the Dolphins. And again, it's all happening here. No AJ, no Fafita, no Mo, and no Tino. Jaden is fullback. The forward pack is Jolliffe, Verrills, Isaac Fasul-Miley, Cleese Haas, Stimpson, Liu. The bench is Randall, who's back. He's been injured. Aaron Clark, so we've got 2 hookers on the bench. 2 hookers and a centre in Jojo Fafita. Jacob Alec comes into the team. I assume he's on debut because I don't know. With all due respect to young Jacob. Felice Kafusi and Hammer are both out. Nikarima stays at 1 officially. Aitken and Tawari are the official centres. And in the back row, Lemuelu, Bromwich and Stone. Onto the bench, Milford's back, Josh Kerr, Nichols and Jared Wallace. I'm going to tip the Dolphins. I think they're just four four very big outs. And
Massive outs.
we're in the kiddie pool in terms of depth this week, I should say. It's been a long day. The first grade team will win. I think I'm going to go them 1-12. I'd actually start to think I'll be disappointed if they don't win this game.
Yeah, me too.
Man of the match, Nicarima. He's hot. He'll score points. He'll lead to points. First try scorer, Ewan Aiton, because that's probably what you're about to say.
That's exactly what I've got written
There you
down
go.
here. I've only gone 1-12 just because I think that the middles for the Dolphins have struggled. I do expect them to win quite convincingly in the middle of the field, though, considering what the Titans are missing here. There are a few young guys in there. I like Isaac coming through. I like Cleese Haas. They will, put in a performance.
And they've got size, which is what the concern was at the start that they didn't have.
Yeah, but once you start getting into that rotation, this Dolphins forward pack should take well until truly take control of this game. Milford, yeah, he has a good game every now and then. If he has an average game and Sullivan's good enough, they should have more.
He's on the bench anyway, so
they should have more than enough strike to get the ball out wide to the players that can score points. We know there's still a few guys out there in the likes of Ewan Aitken. I might just change Aitken now because you've taken him, and I'll go with Azarko as the first try scorer because he's a pretty good bet too. So you get those guys in some good ball and put them in one-on-one positions, they're probably going to score tries more often than not. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a blowout by the back end of the game with the Dolphins just pouring on a few points at the back end, but I'm going to stick with 1-12. Man of the match, Nicarima. He's been, as we mentioned in the review, he's been in everything good for them for the last 6 to 8 weeks, and it's been in fantastic form. So I'm going to go him, man of the match, and Azarko, first try scorer.
we're now trawling through what we're trawling through this round. Ivan Cleary's very critical of Origin now.
Yep.
Perhaps it's time to revisit.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it's time to revisit and just go, right, let's just have the 30-week comp and play in October and play 3 games over 4 weeks or however it worked through COVID. They had record numbers, I think, on TV. Maybe it's time just to do that, unless it's a World Cup year. But, man, it's hard work, some of this stuff.
Well, it does kill the international game off a lot if you're going to start playing playing Origin at the back end of the season. That's the only issue I have with it.
Or you
we've heard all the
or you have a
options.
complete buy round.
Yeah. We've had the
Complete buy round in April and play the Anzac test and have a Pacifica test and a complete buy round in like this week and just play internet and play tests. I think tests would get you. Most players would get through tests in better condition than.
Well, you and me have both said it for probably 3 years now. Since we started the podcast, going on 4 years now. It really should be a 3-week standalone thing where it's played but week in, week out. Origin, 3 games. The comp's suspended for 3 weeks, and you play some internationals in and around that time as well. Pacifica tests and that kind of stuff. The only other option I've really heard that made any sense to me was something that Matty John's come up with in the last week when the conversation's been had is the first and third Origins are bye weeks where you do play some Pacific tests, and the one in the middle you just play as a normal bye round like we do at the moment. So it gives, the comp only has to shut down for 2 weeks. You get all the teams get rested apart. Oh, they don't really because there's going to be some advantages and disadvantages, but you do get some international games played in and around there with, the likes of Fiji, Tonga, and the guys that aren't eligible for Origin, which you can bulk out around to 4 or 5 games, which is what you're putting out anyway. But the class of footy is going to be so much higher. The only thing, obviously, the clubs are going to push back because of the risk of injury to the better players that are playing that they would be resting and that at those times during the year. So.
And then all of a sudden Clinton Eaton will throw his dummy out and want a new RLPA and That being said, what other major major sporting leagues that actively sabotage
play
their
a
comp
rep
for 6
comp
weeks?
in the middle of the year? Yeah, no.
Even the EPL and that will stop for World Cups.
Yeah.
Stop or they just play.
Well, the EPL do have their FA Cups and that kind of stuff, which is played
but
on
they're still
top of their
club level.
competitions. But
they're not. They're not all leaving to go play somewhere else. They're playing for their club still.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's still there representing
Major
their
League
club.
Baseball, NBA, NFL.
Yeah, they play one maybe All-Stars game in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Like it's
To give everyone a break.
Nobody does it.
No.
No,
Like,
nobody.
why sabotage the best sporting product in the world for a good 8 weeks, and then at the back of it, the rest of the year because they're all injured.
Yeah.
So I think it's time
I think it's
to
going to be the end of the year or a 3-week shutout where the comp stops. Like, really, would the NRL comp be any worse off for playing 2 less? Well, you're not playing 2 less games because it just means that there's no buys. Like
No,
there's
just
no
because
big
the current
massive
bargaining
buy
agreement
weeks. You know what I mean?
is like February to.
No, obviously it means
whatever.
that you have to play. You have to be playing the Origin players more to
Yeah.
take that 3 weeks off or the
But you
month
just go
off
into,
and
but you
play,
you get off the grand final. You do what you did in COVID. You just go, right, we're going to pick 30 blokes.
Mm.
The rest of you can go to Bali.
You're in camp.
You
You've
blokes
got 6 weeks.
Yeah, and if they've really whinge about it, well, they just don't nominate. Go, oh, don't want to play. Like I think like
It does lessen Origin a little bit, I think, by moving it to the end of the year. But
there's also nothing on
does
that
strengthen,
time of year.
yeah,
Like the cricket doesn't start yet.
The NRL
All it's on in
comp, so.
November. All on is the back end of October, November is. I know it's starting to get a bit warm, but you play at night. Is like the spring carnival. Like there's nothing else on.
The biggest thing going for the way it's done at the moment is that you've got players in form playing in regular competition, and they're going to be at their best unless they're injured, obviously, at this time of year.
Yeah, and I know it's tricky. Obviously, people say, "Oh, well."
What about the team that ran last
Well,
and haven't played for 8 weeks?
Mo, and Dave Fafita, have been sitting their ass for 8 weeks. Well, you're professional athletes. You're entertainers. Easy for me to say as I sit in my ass and suck piss. But anyway, until like...
I don't think it'll change. I
No.
honestly can't see it changing. At best, you might get one round where they have a complete bye round. That's probably the way to do it. Just the middle second Origin, complete bye round, play a couple of Pacifica games in there, and the rest of it is still going to be the way that they do it now.
Yeah.
But I can't see it changing.
I like no one's going to change, but I just think it needs...
Probably should change, but
yeah,
I can't see it happen.
Masterclass, disaster class, we call it actually.
Because it's been a bit of a disaster.
Yeah.
I think we made money most years, but not this year. We're going backwards.
Last 2 weeks, I've tipped 14 out of 16 games, and the 2 games that
managed to find a losing bet.
A loser.
Yeah,
it cost me money.
Minus 560 for yourself, minus $449.50 for me. We both missed pretty comprehensively last week, but no point dwelling on the past. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, Warriors, and Souths, all 1-12. Get you $31.50 for a three-game multi. Going to have $30 on that. I'm going to go Brenton Nakora to score 2 tries in the Sharks game, $8.50. Put $10 on that, and then I'm going to have Chance, Nickel Clockstad, and Jackson Ford both to score any time in the Warriors match. $11 for a $10 bet on that.
I'm going, because like we're fucked now, I'm going to shoot for the moon. I'm going to have an anytime try scorer from every game all up.
Right. Okay.
Whiten.
Yep.
Ramian, Tawari, Tass, and Chance. That's paying $92. You probably get 3 figures if you're lucky enough to be given boosts anymore. All 50 on it.
What price was it, sorry?
$92. So right now I can see $4,612. As I said, if you boost wherever you may, I'm sure you get 100 to 1 there.
Whiten, Ramian, Tafahi, Tass,
and Chance.
But
that all being said, Dolphins at $2.10 are the bet of the round.
Yeah.
Bet of the round if I was playing a straight bat.
210 head-to-head. Yeah, right.
Money for jam, as they say. Has anyone got your frothing here? Or the froths, the suds are soaking to the top of the bathtub?
To be honest, the 5 teams not playing on the weekend, the fact that that's going to end after this weekend is probably the thing that excites me the most. I hate having to see 4 and 5 teams sitting on the sidelines and not playing footy during the Origin. Origin's dead. It's flat.
Particularly when they're literally the top. It's the top 4 not playing.
Yeah. This round's pretty dead. I'm sure there'll be some really exciting moments of footy, and we'll enjoy watching at least 2 of the games, hopefully 3 or 4 of them. But Yeah, no, I'm pretty flat this week. The froth's been blown off the top.
I'm gonna sounds hot. I'm gonna froth. What's going to be frothing is rugby league chaos. Something weird's going to happen. So different level of rugby league, but we know something's going to be tipped on its head.
Yeah, absolutely anything could happen.
But then the problem is we'll do a show next week, and it all means nothing as well. Just go, oh well, Para got beat, but it's going to happen.
They get their fullback, their halfback back.
Yeah, exactly. So, whatever, something to watch, something to do. As this show has been, something to listen to, I suppose. It's the nicest way we can describe us. Thank you, David.
Well said.
Let's go home.
Yes, let's go home.
All right. Be good, everyone. We'll be back to Monday night to look at it all and also preview Origin. And I suppose we're going to do a show next Thursday to talk about what happened.
And preview the upcoming round.
Things are afoot, yeah. We'll have to get
Things
through
are
all that.
afoot.
Wow. All good. Look forward to it, though. Take care. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.